empezar a grabar, para comenzar a grabar esta junta, para poderla compartir después con otros padres que no pudieron venir.
Okay, so I wanted to thank you guys all for being here. Just wanted to give you guys a couple. Oh, Miss Barbara. Hey, hey, girl.
Hello, hola, Miss Bárbara, ¿cómo está usted?
I could only see your daughter, the top of your daughter's head. I didn't know who that was there. All right. So just to give you guys a couple updates, for those of you guys that have seen or been to the school since spring break, there are a couple updates because the gate that's closest to the office is under construction. Well, I guess I should correct that. It's finished, but the hardware, the locks are missing. Like we don't have those in yet. Those are on back order. So we can't use that gate at this time. So to enter campus during the day, you'll need to use the gate that's in the middle, that's right across from the nurse's office.
Vamos a actualizar algunas cosas que están pasando en la escuela o algunas renovaciones. Como han visto, hay una nueva entrada, es como un tipo portón que fue construido durante las vacaciones. Ya todo está listo, no más que falta las chapas y las puertas para poderlas abrir, cómo poder abrir las puertas, pero todo lo demás ya está terminado.
And we're actually really excited about this for the safety aspect. So what's going to happen on the outside gate is they're going to put a camera, like a ring, so that and then the secretaries will have the camera and be able to buzz people onto campus. So we're very excited about that piece for safety for the campus as a whole.
Para la seguridad de todos se van también a instalar unas cámaras para la vigilancia, para la seguridad. Las cámaras van a estar vigiladas por dentro de la oficina para ver, para cuando ustedes suenen el botón para que los permitan entrar.
Okay. So here are just a couple of reminders. And a couple people have called in with questions about this. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone had this information. The office gate, so that middle gate now by the nurse's office, that locks at 2:30. And so people that want to pick up their kids early, if you have like a doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock, you would need to do so prior to 2:30. So they will not be released. So that gate remains closed from about 2:30 until about 3:10. And the biggest reason for this is during that time period is our intervention time. And students are with different teachers than their normal homeroom teachers. And at that time, they're also start to transition back to their homeroom to get packed up at the end of the day. And it can be very chaotic trying to find the student and get them up to the office and with the person that they're supposed to be with. So that's one of the main reasons for that.
Okay. Uno de los recordatorios generales es de que la entrada a la puerta o el portón que está por la entrada de la 7 Avenida se cerrará a partir de las 2:30. So después se cerrará de las 2:30 hasta más o menos las 3:10. Para la seguridad de los estudiantes, aparte de que a esas horas están teniendo un tipo de intervención de lectura con todos los estudiantes y a esas horas los estudiantes no están en sus salones, algunos, para que puedan viajar seguramente de un lugar a otro, esos están cerrados.
Okay, a couple of things about Sunland Avenue. And I'll show a video of what it's supposed to look like on the next slide. But if you're dropping off or picking up your student on Sunland Avenue, please make sure that if you're on the side closest to the school, that you stay in your car. This helps to keep the line moving. And then there is no parking on the south side, which is the opposite side from the school, from the yellow sign to the corner. and that's on Sunland Avenue. So it's from that yellow sign all the way up to the corner. And then the other thing that's helped to keep the traffic flowing quicker today is there should actually be 2 lanes for those turning off from Sunland onto 7th Avenue. There should be one turning left and one turning right. And that's helped today. I've been standing out in the middle, kind of directing traffic and acting as a lane divider. And that's helped to keep the traffic moving quicker.
Ok, so otro recordatorio es de que en la calle de la avenida de Sunland se les está pidiendo que si ustedes vienen a recoger a los estudiantes se mantengan adentro de sus carros, no se salgan del carro para que la línea de carros se mueva más suavemente. No se permite estacionar alrededor del alrededor del cartelero amarillo hacia la esquina de la parte sur de la 7 Avenida. Ahí, por favor, no se estacionen. Y una última cosa es que debe de haber 2 líneas al acercarse a la 7 Avenida. Una línea para dar vuelta a la derecha y otra línea para dar vuelta a la izquierda.
And one thing, sorry, Ms. Cons, this one thing I was thinking about because I see some parents that pick up in the back that are on here. So one update is Dr. Boyce, our superintendent, and I actually met with the city about actually expanding the road on Chambers and flattening out that horrible hill there in the back and expanding and actually putting sidewalks in. So as we know, things don't always move as quickly as we want them to, but the goal is that they said is to have it fixed and better before the start of the next school year.
Otra cosa para los que recogen a los niños en la parte de atrás del estacionamiento de la escuela, se reunió la directora con el superintendente de la escuela en esta parte que están mirando, perdón, no en esta parte, sino en la parte de atrás de la calle Chambers, donde está como una tipo de montañita pequeño para reunirse con la ciudad de Phoenix y ver cómo se puede anivelar eso para que esté plano en vez de subido y que sea el movimiento del tráfico con más seguridad, ya sea del tráfico y de los estudiantes, y así también poder poner banquetas.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cons. So if you look here, you'll see this is how it should look on Sunland Avenue with the cars lined up there on the left side and that side over there between that yellow sign. I'll zoom in on that so you can see it in a minute. But there should be no parking. That's what it should look like in the mornings as well as after school. And then on the other side over here, you'll see that's what it says. It's a speed humps yellow sign. And then that goes all the way down to 7th Avenue. So there's no parking in that area.
Ok, entonces lo que está mostrando es básicamente es el lado sur de la calle, donde está esa banqueta y donde está ese cartel, ese símbolo amarillo, que no debe de haber carros estacionados para permitir a los carros que están en el tráfico recogiendo a los estudiantes que se muevan más suave y con más seguridad.
Okay. All right. So state testing, which we just got this information all about the dates yesterday. And so I wanted to make sure, since we were, the testing starts at the end of this month, I wanted to make sure you guys had this information. I'll actually give you the specific dates of the grade levels testing. And so you'll actually know before the teachers do, besides Ms. Cons and Ms. Crawford. So I'm sorry, you probably should translate. I apologize. That was a lot.
Ok, entonces ahora les va a comentar sobre los días, las fechas donde los estudiantes van a tomar los exámenes del estado.
So one of the things I want to talk about before I showed the schedule was some things that you guys can do at home to help set your students up for success. So here's just a list of some things that we know help students to do their best. So getting a good night's sleep, 8 to 10 hours is encouraged. Start with a breakfast, whether you eat breakfast at home or encourage them to eat breakfast at school. The higher up they go in grade, the less we see kids eating breakfast. And so we know that breakfast is, the most important meal of the day. Send your student to school with a water bottle. If you haven't been on campus lately, we actually have 4 of the water bottle fillers. And so those are connected to the water fountain, so kids can refill their water bottles as we go throughout the day. Make sure your student's on time for school. Have students stay the entire day at school. So if a student is taking a test and you, for example, come to get your student because you have an appointment that day, if they're not finished with the test and they leave, they're unable to go back and finish it, and they would get those answers to those questions they didn't get wrong. Encourage your student to do their best. Positive words of affirmation, of encouragement, that goes a long way. And then ask your student how they did and celebrate them for trying their best.
Okay, algunas de las cosas, algunos puntos para cómo les podemos ayudar en la casa a los estudiantes para prepararse mejor para tomar en los exámenes. Una de las cosas es de que se aseguren de que puedan tener dormir bastante durante la noche anterior de entre a 8 a 10 horas. Comenzar tal vez con un desayuno y animarlos a que ya sea coman en casa el desayuno o en la escuela, porque a muchos niños no les gusta desayunar. Manden a los estudiantes con una botella de agua. Tenemos más o menos 4 máquinas para rellenar las botellas de agua. Otra cosa es de llegar a la escuela a tiempo y también que los estudiantes se queden durante todo el día, porque el problema es de que los estudiantes están tomando una sesión de algún examen, ya que los recogen ustedes antes de que lo terminen y se los llevan. Los estudiantes ya no se les termina el examen, o sea que ya no les permiten regresar a la misma sesión, y entonces el puntuaje que agarraron hasta a partir de ese tiempo es el puntuaje de los resultados del examen para ellos. Otra de las cosas es de que los animen a que hagan lo mejor que puedan en el examen. Y que les celebren a como ustedes vean mejor, a que les ayuden a hacer lo mejor que puedan en el examen.
Thank you, Ms. Kahns. All right, so I know this is a little bit hard to read, and I will have I'm actually going to send home a calendar with the students by the end of the week with these specific days. But if you have a student in 5th or 8th grade, their first test will be the AZ Science test, which will be on March 29th, and that's 5th through 8th grade.
All right, so los estudiantes que están en el quinto, is it 5th through 8th grade or 5th?
No, I'm sorry, 5th and 8th grade.
Oh, okay. All right, so los estudiantes que están en el grado 5 o el quinto y octavo grado van a tener su examen de ciencias el 29 de marzo, el martes 29 de marzo.
Sorry, I have to go back. I apologize. Okay. The second test will be for all students in grades 3 through 8. That will be on March 31st. And that is the writing test. And that will be again for all students in grades 3 through 8.
Ok, el segundo examen que se llevará a cabo es para los estudiantes del grado de 3º hasta el 8 grado. Y ese será el 31 de marzo, que será el examen de escritura.
Okay, then the next one that you see on here that's important to note will be for students in grades 3 through 5. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students on April 7th will be taking the ELA test. That's the English Language Arts test, part 1 only that day.
All right. Entonces, el siguiente examen será el examen de lectura y de lenguaje, que será solamente la parte 1 para los grados tercero a quinto grado. Será el 7 de abril.
And then on April 8th, they will then, same grades 3, 4, and 5, will take the second English language arts part 2 test.
Y la parte 2 de lectura y de lenguaje para los mismos estudiantes de tercero hasta el quinto grado será el 8 de abril.
If you have a student in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, the important dates in April for you are April 11th and April 12th.
Ok, entonces para los que tienen estudiantes en los grados sexto al octavo grado, las fechas importantes serán el 11 y el 12 de abril, donde tomarán los exámenes de lectura y de matemáticas.
Yep, so they will take, on the 11th, they will take both the English language arts and the math test, part 1, for both of those on Monday. And then on Tuesday, the 12th, they will take the English language arts and math part 2.
Entonces el lunes 11 de abril tomarán la parte 1 de lectura y lenguaje y matemáticas, y el siguiente día, el 12 de abril, van a tomar la parte 2 de lo mismo, lenguaje y matemáticas.
There's actually something that's wrong on here. If you'll look at April 13th is not actually an early release day. So I will, again, when I send the one home for you, this was just our draft that we got ready for you guys this evening. But starting April 13th, the last 3 Wednesdays in April are full days of school.
Do I have to translate that? I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
All right. So los 3 miércoles, el día 13, el 20 y el 27 de abril, serán días completos, no serán días donde es de salida temprano.
And you'll also notice on here that April 1st and April 15th are, we don't have school those days, for Cesar Chavez Day and for Good Friday.
Entonces, también se puede dar cuenta que el 1 de abril y el 15 de abril también son días feriados, no va a haber escuela en esos 2 viernes, que uno es el día de César Chávez y el otro es el viernes de Semana Santa.
And then for those students that are in grades 3, 4, and 5, you'll be taking the math part 1 and part 2 on April 19th and 20th.
Para los estudiantes de tercero a quinto grado van a tomar los exámenes de matemáticas parte 1 el 19 de abril y parte 2 el 20 de abril.
And there's one last test that 3rd graders have to take. It's a very short test. It's called the ORF test, and students test in small groups. It is oral reading fluency. Does that translate well, Ms. Cons? I don't think it does.
I will try. Entonces, hay un último examen que solamente son para los estudiantes de tercer grado, que será el examen de fluidez de lectura oral. Yes, it did.
Okay.
Fluidez de lectura oral. So, ese examen lo tomarán solamente los estudiantes de tercer grado el 21 de abril.
So that will be on the 21st of April. And then the other days for makeup, so you guys don't need to make note of. That's just if your student were to miss one of the days, we would use those days listed as makeups to have them take their test.
El resto de los días del 25 al 29 de abril son días diseñados para los estudiantes que faltaron durante los exámenes. Pueden tomar los exámenes durante esos días.
Yes, Miss Barbara, you got to unmute yourself though. Or Miss Cons, can you help them? Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, we got it.
Yes, no
Okay.
problem.
Are they testing only in the morning?
It depends. So there are some days if they have 2 tests, like for example, 5th grade on the 29th, they would take the science test 1 before lunch, and then the science test 2 after lunch.
Okay, so on Monday, the 4th, April 4th, no 6th graders, they're not testing.
No, they'll be doing makeups for 6th grade wouldn't anyway, because that's only 5th and 8th. Science is only 5th and 8th grade students.
Okay, okay.
La pregunta, can I translate the question?
Yes.
Okay. La pregunta fue si los estudiantes están tomando los exámenes por la mañana. La respuesta fue de que sí. Si solamente es un examen, lo toman en la mañana, pero si son más de un examen durante un día, comienzan en la mañana y continúan después.
Okay. All right.
Can I say something about 3rd grade?
Yeah.
So because 3rd grade is the first year that they take the state test, it takes the 3rd graders slightly longer to almost the full day. So that's just something for parents to be aware of. So we don't want to rush the students since it's not a timed test. So para los que tienen estudiantes en 3er grado, porque es el primer año escolar en los que los estudiantes toman los exámenes estatales, les toma un poquito más en completarlos, les puede tomar casi el día completo para completar sus exámenes.
Excellent. All right. So one of the things that we started last month is a monthly newsletter that gives updates from all of the grade levels. And so the link is here. I have sent it out if you're on our Remind, which if you're not on the Remind, the code to get on Remind is @SunlandFam. And the beginning of every month, that newsletter will be coming out. It'll have information about upcoming dates, anything going on in the school, and again, grade levels and our special education, special areas, all include information in our newsletter.
Entonces se comenzó, me parece que dijo en enero se comenzó un boletín informativo de parte de la escuela para los padres, para informar a los padres y mantenerlos informados. En este boletín informativo que sale cada mes por parte de lo manda la directora, a través del Remind, se les informa de lo que está sucediendo en cada grado. So, en ese informativo van a empezar a mirar qué está sucediendo en kinder, en primer grado, en segundo grado y en todos los grados para mantenerlos informados. El contenido del boletín informativo está diseñado por parte de los maestros de ese grado.
Okay. And then Sunland has a new YouTube account. We are finishing the final touches on it tonight. We ended up getting locked out of the other one due to the password got reset and we don't have access to what the new password is. So anyway, we had to create a new channel. So that will start, we'll have that out there tomorrow. I'll send that link out on Remind as well, but it's called Sunland Scorpion Channel. And we post our daily announcements, which actually our 4th graders are in charge of. So our 4th graders create the daily announcements. And we also record school-wide events like the Cafecito, the dance performance in December we recorded, and then we share that out on our YouTube channel.
Comenzando mañana, les está pidiendo que se suscriban al nuevo canal de YouTube de parte de la escuela. El canal, ahí en ese canal se ponen los anuncios diarios, se ponen, por ejemplo, juntas como estas, que se ponen ahí por si no las lograron mirar, y algunos otros actuaciones de parte de la escuela. El nombre del canal se llama Escorpiones de Sunland Scorpion.
Okay. So here are some of the upcoming events. Obviously the Cafecito tonight. Tomorrow, we are excited to have our kindergarten roundup for all our new kindergarten students. That will be in the cafeteria. And for those of you that have kindergarten students that attend here currently, they will be performing from 5 to 5:30, some of their musical numbers that they've been learning in Mr. Gutierrez class. I'm sorry, is it better to translate after each? Okay.
I can start, yes. Estos son algunos de los eventos que van a suceder durante este mes. Por supuesto, hoy es la junta en la que estamos ahorita, que es el cafecito. Otro evento es mañana, el 16 de marzo. Mañana habrá una junta a partir de las 5 de la tarde, donde asistirán los padres que tienen estudiantes del kinder para el próximo año, y los estudiantes del kinder de ahorita van a cantar en una actuación en ese día, mañana de las 5 a las 5:30, seguido de la junta. I'm sorry, did you go into the 22nd?
No, I did not yet.
Go ahead.
So then the first and second grade have been working on some musical numbers with Mr. Gutierrez as well. So they will be performing from 4 to 5 o'clock, and that's on March 22nd.
La siguiente actuación será el 22 de marzo para los estudiantes de primero y segundo grado. Van a tener una actuación musical a partir de las 4 a las 5 de la tarde, el 22 de marzo.
And then the 28th, which is a Monday, so March 28th, there will be no clubs that day because we have a staff meeting.
El 28 de marzo no habrá ningún club después de la escuela, porque ese día está diseñado para juntas para los maestros.
And then on the 30th, March 30th, which is a Wednesday, it'll be Dollar Dress Down Day, as well as our Scorpion Scholar Assembly. And that still is on Zoom at this time. It'll be from 8:15 to 8:45. And we will record it and post it on the YouTube channel as well for those that miss it.
El 30 de marzo será el día donde habrá la asamblea escolar de Scorpions. Los escorpiones será de las 8:15 hasta las 8:45 de la mañana. Todavía se llevará a cabo durante el Zoom. Y lo último, para este mismo día, que es un miércoles 30 de marzo, los niños que paguen $1 se les permite vestirse sin el uniforme, usar ropa regular.
No, there's two last things that I want to say about things that aren't on here. One is, if you have an 8th grader, we will be doing 8th grade class pictures tomorrow.
Otra cosa, o una última cosa que no estaba ahí bajo los puntos, es de que si tienen un estudiante que está en el 8º grado, mañana se llevarán a cabo las fotos solamente para los de 8º grado.
We are finalizing the dates for now that we have the state testing schedule, we need to move the picture day that we had scheduled in April for the rest of the campus for class pictures. But that information will be coming out soon. It'll be roughly the middle of April.
Están finalizando las fechas para las fotos de los estudiantes antes de que se termine el año. Están mirando las fechas de los exámenes y tratar de poner una fecha para las fotos lo más pronto posible.
And next month, we will be moving the Cafecito back in person. And we're trying to merge the two. So we will be recording the Cafecito for those that can't attend, and then sharing it on Reminds, because we've heard positive feedback for those that can't attend, especially if it's during the school day, because they're working. They'll at least be able to see the information, even if they can't attend in person.
A partir del próximo mes, las juntas estas de Cafecito se llevarán a cabo en persona. pero de todas maneras se van a grabar para poder compartir con los padres que no pueden asistir debido a que tal vez sean durante el día.
And one last thing before I turn it over for questions or comments is we have 2 brand new faces in the office, if you have not met them yet. The new admin assistant that took the position that Faith had, her name is Miss Diana. So if you are in here, Miss Diana is sitting, she's the one sitting in the back of the office now. I switched the position seat. So Miss Diana is, if you come in, she is on the left side. And then Miss Jackie took the position that Lisa had as our attendance clerk. And so she is sitting on the right side when you walk in.
Hay 2 caras nuevas en la oficina de la escuela. Una es la señorita Diana, que es ahora la asistente administrativa, que ella misma tomó la posición que tenía antes la señorita Faith. Y la otra, cuando entren a la oficina la ven al lado izquierdo. Y la otra posición es de la señorita Jackie. Ella tomó la posición de la señorita Lisa y la ven al lado derecho cuando entren. Cuando visiten la escuela, nomás salúdenlos a ellos.
So if you had called and left a message in the month of January or February, it is possible that we missed that message and we are working our way through those. So I think there was 120 messages when we finally got Miss Jackie and Miss Diana into the voicemails. So you'll also notice if you call in for attendance, you can now hit the number and it will take you to the attendance clerk's desk, which was not the case before. So we are moving up in the world.
So algunas actualizaciones que han sucedido, número 1, si llamaron y dejaron mensaje durante el mes de enero o de febrero, apenas están revisando los mensajes porque no había posición, no había persona que tenía ese trabajo. Y ahora se actualizó la forma en los que ustedes reportan las ausencias. Si quieren hablar o reportar alguna ausencia, le presionan el número indicado y los mandan a la extensión indicada.
Okay, so I would love to hear if there are any questions, comments, concerns you'd like to share. Turn it over to you guys now.
A este momento, si tienen algunas preguntas o preocupaciones que gusten compartir.
This is that awkward silence where we sit and wait for if people are trying to figure out how to unmute themselves. They really don't have any questions. You didn't want to translate that, Ms. Gans?
En este momento está medio raro que nadie haga preguntas o el silencio les parece medio rarito.
She sounds just like her.
I do have a question.
Yes.
My question is, Barbara, what's for dinner?
I baked chicken and mushroom rice.
Ooh.
Oh.
I've got to say, everybody else that's on here, you guys could turn on your camera so we could see your face too. But I was laughing because I looked at Miss Barbara and I thought, man, that's what her face looks like. Because I've only ever seen from this.
Without the mask.
That's what her mouth looks like.
Oh gosh.
It's interesting because we do see each other on campus, like new faces or new students. And, sometimes we think, oh, they're being rude because they're not saying hello or whatever, but it's because they don't recognize them. Or I saw,
Exactly.
I think it was Ms. Gomez. I saw her for the first time a while back without her mask. And I had no clue. It was her. Like, who's this?
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions besides what's for dinner?
You ladies are doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate Miss Collins being here tonight to translate for us. If you've noticed, Miss Compass has been off campus right now. And so Miss Collins has very graciously stepped in to help us with translating. So we really appreciate her being here.
Miss Collins loves it.
Thank you. I have nothing better to do. I can be right here, or I could be in the kitchen cooking.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stay on here I'm going to turn off the recording, and I'm going to stay on here for a couple minutes for anybody that might, want to ask a question and not want to record on the record. I don't know. Or be shy. You want other people to leave first. That's okay too. So thank you guys so much for coming. And I hope that you guys have a great night, and we are here to help. If you need anything, please just let us know.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank
Gracias
you.
a todos por venir. Se va a mantener aquí ella un poco más de tiempo para ver si alguien más tiene alguna pregunta.
You gotta turn it off.